book shopping vlog. We're at location number 1, and that is Half Price Books. This is not the Half Price Books of all Half Price Books, which I'm very excited to take Aspen to, but it is a Half Price Books with a great clearance section, so hopefully we get the deals. Are you looking for anything in particular?
No.
I have a whole list, so we'll see how it goes. Come along with us. Hello, semi-successful. It wasn't like really giving what we needed to give, but it wasn't the main Half Price book, so I'm not pressed. I got 3, which we'll show you in depth later. Aspen got 2, but we're going to get a sweet treat because we've already worked so hard. We've been to one whole bookstore.
It's been a long day.
It really has. It actually has. We
worked really hard this morning.
Well, we stayed until 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And we got up and did yoga. And then we were in the sun. That's a lot. That's actually a lot. And we're just girls.
We require sustenance.
Yes. So it's cookie time. Hello. After we got our sweet treats, we thought My Favorite Indie was going to be closed because it said closed online, but we drove by and Aspen was like, I think it's open. And we went in there and the owner was just like yelling on the phone and she was like, y'all can shop, like do your thing. So I got a couple things in there and now we are at, can you go away? Fuck Texas for that. Now we're at the big one. Half price. Are you ready?
No, I'm intimidated.
You're going to be overwhelmed. Just prepare to be overwhelmed. But it's also the best bookstore ever, so in my opinion. Let's go! Very fetish. What? Chesty? What is this? I'm scared. Hello! So it's actually the next day. We went to those 3 bookstores yesterday and then we had to run to dinner. We literally changed in the Half Price Books bathroom. So that was, uh-oh. My whole stack of books literally just fell. We want to do a little haul for you at the midway point because we're gonna do some more book shopping today, but it's gonna be an overwhelming haul if we wait for 2 days worth of book shopping. So we're just gonna haul for you now. But I want to start out with the gift that Aspen got me for my birthday. She's literally so cute. Had this little note and was like, I wanted to hand deliver this with a little annotation, accessories. And first I opened this, I'm like, okay, bye baby. Do you want to tell the people why you picked this for me?
I picked it because it has everything I feel like you want in a book. It's like female friendships and very complex, complicated female friendships. There's a missing child involved.
I love a missing child.
Those two things checked the boxes, but then later in the description it talks about like family, trauma, and all of the things, and I just was like, that literally is like if you were to write a book. I feel like those are all things you would put in there.
And one of my patrons who our tastes always align, she gave this 5 stars. So I'm fairly certain you gifted me a 5-star book. And then we got to the piece de resistance, and I literally will cry about this. Not a first edition signed copy of Pretty Girls with deckled edges. I didn't even notice the deckled edges until right now. Even Cameron was like, wow, this is a big deal. It literally has the date. And at first I didn't even realize like the date was there for a reason. But it's because this is literally the first printing. So thank you to Aspen. As for the books that we bought, oh, we didn't show y'all that we did go to one extra bookstore. Oh my god, Boba. Boba just wants to sit with Aspen.
She's obsessed with me, just for the record.
I feel like Boba is kind of exposing herself right now because every collab video I've ever filmed, she's like obsessed. She sat in Jess's lap the whole time. She sat in Daisha's lap the whole time. I'm like, Boba, you're a whore. These girls are not special. You make them think they're special. They're not. You love everyone. Literally the first moment when Aspen got off this goddamn plane, we went to another bookstore. So we'll show you the books from there now. It's like an indie bookstore. I have a membership there. I love it. It's called First Light if you're in Austin. So I will start with this really exciting polyamory romance that I picked up. It's called Triple Sec, and it's 3 people on vacation getting together. Like, what could be a more Hailey romance book, really? I will imagine that it's me, Florence Pugh, and Jake Kiska all on an island together, and I will be very happy about that.
I picked up a copy of Normal People. I've watched the show quite a few times, and I love the show, but I've just never read the book, and I've been really wanting to, and this seemed like a good excuse to finally buy this one, so.
And you can annotate it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I feel like this will be a very good annotating book, and I've been in the mood to get into some annotations recently.
Next up, I got the new Gretchen Felker Martin book. This is Cuckoo. I'm not saying cuckoo.
Cuckoo.
Yeah.
Cuckoo.
And the author of this book is a trans woman. We love to see it. We love trans rep. And it's about a conversion camp from hell that takes place in the summer of 1995. So it sounds perfect for my summer horror era, which I'm very much in this current moment. So I will be reading this with a swiftness. I know I usually say that a lot when I buy books and then it's not true, but with this one, it's true.
And then I got the 3-body problem, which I've never heard of before, but Hailey said, hey, this sounds like something you would like because it involves aliens. It's a sci-fi book. I think it's a trilogy. I just got the first one. I exercised some self-control a little bit. But I'm very excited. I love an alien, so.
I just literally pushed it on her. I heard Jordaline talk about it one time, and the way that she described it, I was like, oh my god, Aspen would like that. So I just pushed it on her, and she was like, okay.
I think it's funny because we very rarely agree, but I still, like, if you're like, you should read this, it's good, I'd be like, okay.
Yes, mommy.
Like, it doesn't even matter that 98% of the time we have different opinions.
I was actually, spoiler alert, we're doing another collab video that we're gonna film later today. My version of our collab will be on Patreon, so if you want to see it, you have to join my top tier. I'm sorry, it's for the queens only because we're gonna be messy, we're gonna be unhinged, we're gonna be unfiltered. For that, I was looking through Aspen's 5-star reads, and I love every single book in your 5-star shelf.
So I'm the problem.
It's me.
Is that what I'm hearing?
No, you're not the problem. I think I'm less critical than you.
Okay.
Because I will give a 5-star to like some bullshit that I just had a good time reading while I was high.
Yeah.
You're not gonna do that.
No.
You're very sentimental.
I am. It's very special to me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's how I just delineate. Like, this is like absolutely what I would recommend to anyone.
So I hope you like it.
I'm excited. If it has aliens, I'm probably gonna enjoy it.
Period. And my last gay book is Bury Your Gays by Chuck Tingle. I'm so excited about this new release. I want to do a taste test video of Camp Damascus and Bury Your Gays. I think it's going to be a really fun video with a lot of great queer rep and horror. I also love this cover with this like hatchet. Are y'all seeing this?
Ooh. This is about a man who I believe is like, he got his big break and he's about to win an Oscar for the show that he's on, but the like creators of the show say that they have to kill off the gay character and like fall into the bury your gays trope, and he refuses to do that. He doesn't want his character to be killed off, and then he soon realizes he has a target on his back. I love books set in LA. I feel like this is gonna give Maxine a little bit, so yay for that. And that is everything that we got from the first store that we went to on day one that we didn't show you. Now let's go through the books that we hauled yesterday, starting with the first little half-price books. The first thing that I got was from the clearance section, so this was literally $2. Life's Too Short by Abby Jimenez. If you watch my TBR, you know I'm going to be filming an Abby Jimenez taste test, and Aspen just read Just for the Summer and gave it 5 stars and said the main character is literally me. So now I'm so excited and I want to do that taste test like immediately. I think I'm gonna love her books. So Life's Too Short. There's also a chihuahua that looks like Boba on the cover.
Oh my god, there is. That's so cute.
I didn't notice it until we were in the car, but it's literally Boba. And like low-key, that's kind of me. So I don't know what this is about, but I'm reading all of her books. So obviously this had to be on the list.
I picked up a copy of All the Sinners Bleed, which is S.A. Cosby's most recent book that I have not read yet. They have the paperback, finally came out, which I was excited about. I don't even know what this one is about, to be honest. I just love his books, so I just keep reading
so good. There's a serial killer active in the town, and there's also like a school shooting.
Oh.
And the sheriff is the first black sheriff in this small town. So there's like a lot of social issues overlapping and like a murder plot. Like it's very Karen Slaughtery.
I was literally just gonna say that kind of sounds like a version of The Good Daughter.
Yes, for sure. Then I got another romance. I don't know, y'all. I literally don't know. Sometimes I just buy romances and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I don't even read these. But sometimes I read one and it hits. So this one's really short. It's really summery. It's called Same Time Next Summer. Annabelle Monaghan? That's how you say it? It's blurred by Carly Fortune, and I love her. And Aspen said she's like going off. Like this author is going off right now. So I want to get into her. I want to see if I like her. And I like that it has like beach rules. Like I just feel like this is going to be very beachy and cute. And we all know we're in for like 4 more months of extreme heat in Texas. So I'm gonna need summer books to keep me from dying.
And then I picked up Gothicana by Runix. This is a dark romance, and I've honestly heard really mixed things about it because I think it involves a school and potentially a teacher.
Oh!
It's like hate it or love it, and I really just want to weigh in. I'm very curious about it. But also the book itself, I was just kept looking at it. Like all of the details in the book I thought were so pretty. It has sprayed edges. Really, all of the chapter pages are really like detailed and beautiful. So I was like, just in general, it's a pretty book. And I want to know. I can't curb the curiosity.
Then I picked up Lakewood by Megan Giddings, and I feel like I kind of missed the boat on this one. Like everyone read this a couple years ago. When I read the description, I was like, wait, why did I not read this? Because it sounds like something I would really like. It's a girl who has to drop out of school to support her family. So she starts taking part in this research study, and they try weird things like eye drops that make brown eyes blue, medications that cure dementia, golden pills promise to make all bad thoughts go away, like really Black Mirror-esque kind of things. And it's provocative, thrilling, and an unflinching look at the horror forced on Black bodies by the name of science. So I'm excited for this one. I think it's gonna be good. Then we went to Book Women. I don't think you got anything.
I didn't.
The woman that was in there, I love her. This is like one of my favorite indie bookstores in Austin. I love going. They always have a good queer selection, new selection. They have good stuff. So I picked up a couple things. The woman that was in there, she was literally like on the phone yelling at someone.
They were having a crisis.
We were just bopping around, and she came up to us and she was like, yo, I can't even tell you. She like didn't even give us background.
No.
Just like half ranted about what was going on and then went back to her conversation. And when I went to check out, she slammed her laptop shut and just hung up on whoever she was talking with. Love her. She's me and I'm her. She said she was really glad that someone was buying this, so I'm glad that I picked it up. It is How to Be Eaten by Maria Adelman.
I would say Edelman.
Edelman. And it's about this group therapy. The girls that are in this group are basically like modern retellings of different fairy tales. So Ruby, who is like Little Red Riding Hood, Gretel from Hansel and Gretel, and Ashley, who's supposed to be like a Disney princess who didn't get her fairy tale ending. So they all like get to know each other after initially judging each other's stories and have an understanding for like what every girl has been through and their trauma. And it's also like fairy tale retellings in a dark way. I can't believe I've never heard of it.
Like, never seen it.
It sounds good. And then I also, Aspen found this for me, and once she showed it to me, I was like, I cannot leave without it. Queer Little Nightmares, just little horror stories about creatures that are queer. And if you haven't read Out of the Closet, you have to read it. It talks about the connection between the LGBTQ community and creature features and horror and just like feeling like you are the monster. And I also fucking love the cover, like this gay little monster hand. Please slay me. And the last place we went was obviously the big half price books. And honestly, she wasn't really giving what she usually gives for me. Like when me and Daisha went there, we both walked out with like stacks of 20. So she wasn't giving that, but we still got some stuff. When we went to check out, the man at the counter saw this book on my stack, One of the Good Guys by Araminta Hall, and he was like, do you think he's really one of the good guys? Like, I don't know what conversation he was trying to start with me, but I was like, oh no, like I think he's definitely a psycho and I'm excited for it. And then he didn't have a response.
Okay.
Yeah, he was like, oh, okay. Like, it's a thriller. Like, what do you think? That is why I bought it, because Araminta Hall kind of does, like, not to do her like this, but Caroline Kepner's knockoff. Yeah, like, her characters are kind of giving Joe Goldberg in a way. I read Our Kind of Cruelty by her, and I didn't love it. I think it was just a little bit unoriginal. This one sounds better. One of the Good Guys, a thriller about two young women at a seaside town. No one is who they seem, and everyone is desperate to escape the ghosts of their past.
I picked up Invisible Monsters by Chuck Palahniuk. I've never read one of his books. I was looking at all of them in there because there was one I was trying to remember that I had always wanted to read, and I can't remember what it's called, and I still don't know. But Hailey told me that this was like one of the best books ever, so I bought it. Obviously, we didn't even talk about what it was about. She was just like, you have to read it, and I said, noted. I will do that.
Well, the reason why I like was so obsessed with it is I started reading this book and I had no idea what it was going into it, and I started picking up on referential things, and I realized after the prologue that Panic at the Disco canceled, but whatever. Nostalgic for for us. Their first album, Ryan Ross wrote it inspired by this book, and so like all the songs I had already gotten some meaning from, all the like phrases that I already drew meaning from were here, like this is the source material, so I felt very connected to it. And the story's also really cool. It's like chaotic and crazy. It's about this model and her face is disfigured, and so she like goes to the hospital to get her face reconstructed, but she also keeps trying to kill herself because her face is disfigured and her livelihood is done. So she goes to this mental hospital and makes friends with people in the mental hospital, and then she tries to break out of the mental hospital, everyone, and it's just insane. They like crash a wedding. It's like a whole thing. I hope you love it.
I'm excited for it.
This is a random thriller that I picked up and read the description of, and I was like, I can't walk away. I cannot believe I've never heard of this. It's called Copycat by Alex Lake. I've also never read from this author. And it's about this woman who finds an alternate Facebook profile for herself. And it's not just like copy pasted pictures of her life and her house and her friends, but they're not things that she took. It's just another profile for her that is accurate, but she doesn't know where it came from. It says whoever set up this second profile has been waiting for her to find it, and now that she has, her life is no longer her own. And it's described as a nail-biting psychological thriller. And y'all know I love a psychological thriller moment.
I picked up a copy of The Honeys. I have already read this book, but I've never owned the physical copy, and I wanted the hardcover to match Beholder because I have that in hardcover. But this is young adult horror, and it's following this character. They have different pronouns. I don't know if it's they.
Oh, they're gender fluid.
Mars.
Yes, Mars.
It follows a character named Mars whose sister has passed away, and she was previously at this summer camp that our character doesn't go to anymore. But he goes back just to explore and try to find out what really happened because he doesn't think he got the full story. And I thought it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. The audiobook is awesome.
Agreed.
For this. And I really enjoy Ryan LaSala's horror, and I feel like there's just such unique ideas that you've never seen other places. So I've always wanted one, and now I have one.
We both love all of their books, so read them. I got the new Tessa Bailey because of course I did. How do you say this? Au pair?
Au pair, yeah.
Au pair. It's French. Au pair, au pair.
The au pair.
The au pair, au pair. And this is a live-in nanny romance. I don't know if I like that trope. I honestly haven't read a ton of it, but I know Deja likes that trope a lot. And so I want to read this mainly to see if I like the trope, but also if I can tell her if she will like this. So Deja, hi, if you're watching this, I half bought this because I want to tell you if it's good and force you to read Tessa Bailey.
The last book I picked up yesterday, not to be dramatic or anything, but I kind of lost it when I found it.
Yeah, but Aspen's so restrained that her version of losing it is, oh my god, when I will literally scream and run across the store.
We were in the clearance section and we were just about to walk away and I caught it out of the corner of my eye, but it is Whoology, the Doctor Who official
Miscellany? Like miscellaneous? Miscellany?
Yeah, miscellany. It's all about the show, Doctor Who, which I am obsessed with and always have been, and it's really influential in my life. And so I felt like I was required that I buy this. I feel like I was the person meant to go in there and buy this.
Yes.
And I have a standing Wednesday Doctor Who date with my dad every week, and so now we're gonna bring this. We're gonna explore the Whoology of it all and learn some new things. So I was very excited about this.
That's so cute. I love it. I have two more that I got. The Female of the Species by Minty McGinnis. I believe Jess read this like 4 years ago and told me to read it. And I read another book by Minty McGinnis and I refused because I didn't like the writing style of that book. I think it was Be Not Far From Me was the one that I didn't like. But this description really caught my attention. It's about a little girl who knows how to kill, and she literally doesn't feel bad about it. That is the first line. Alex Kraft knows how to kill, and she doesn't feel bad about it. It kind of gives Sadie, because her sister was murdered 3 years ago, and that uncaged her, and she's learning this language of violence, da-da-da-da. I think she's gonna go after the people who killed her sister. And the last book I got was also from the clearance section. It was impulsive. I realize it's by the author of Pond, which I really want to read. Pond, Claire Louise Bennett. This is Checkout 19, and it's about a girl who is literally delusional and creates hyperfixation people in her head based on her drawings and interacts with them instead of the real world. And if you know anything about me, especially if you are on my Patreon and you're in Sprint and you hear me talk about the HCU, the Hailey Cinematic Universe, then you know I will connect to this book. And that's just the way that it is. So apparently all of those books are not enough for us because I got a list and we're going out to Barnes & Noble. So come along with us. Day 3 of book shopping. Hello, we are back from our little book shopping day. I unfortunately went a little psycho at Barnes & Noble, so I have 13 books to talk about. Aspen's not judging me. She actually carried one of my bags.
Yeah.
So
I asked before we went in, how many books are you going to buy?
I did say
she
13.
said 13. We were prepared.
And it just so happened that I fucking bought my list. We got one of the same book, and that is Where He Can't Find You by Darcy Coates. I read the description of this. This was in the YA section, and it caught my attention because I was like, Darcy Coates YA? What's going on here? And I started reading it, and we both were like, yeah. So it says, don't walk alone. The Stitcher will find you. People are vanishing, and when they're found, their bodies have been dismembered and sewn back together in unnatural ways. Don't stay out late. The Stitcher will take you. Don't close your eyes. The Stitcher will remake you. Doesn't that sound so good? Like serial killer vibes. So we're gonna buddy read it. And I got a couple other paperbacks. Starting with the Chuck Palahniuk. Y'all know I like Chuck Palahniuk occasionally. Sometimes he's giving man. But this description sounded really good. It's about this little 13-year-old girl, and she's emo, and she's a mess, and she dies of a marijuana overdose. I didn't even think that was a thing. I don't think it is. And the last thing she remembers is getting into a town car and falling asleep, and then she is waking up in hell. She's sharing a cell in hell with a motley crew, a cheerleader, a jock, a nerd, and a punk rocker, like a breakfast club of the damned. And together they are going to march across the landscape of hell to confront the devil himself. That just sounds so campy and fun. Also, I have a theory. I want to be a matchmaker. Okay, I'm not trying to set people up. My usual thing where with my gay stuff where I try to match people in a gay way, I'm not trying to do that today. But I do think that Chuck Palahniuk and Chandler Morrison should be friends. I've DM'd with Chandler Morrison occasionally. Maybe I should slide in and say, hey, you and Chuck? You want to go to get a matcha? Like, so I'm really excited for this. Also, I like the cover. It's like freaky and weird. The other paperback that I got was a recommendation from Dawn. We love Dawn. Dawn is a part of my Patreon, and everything she gives 5 stars, pretty much I give 5 stars too. So she recommended that I pick up My Darling Dreadful Thing by Joanna Van Veen. I haven't even read the back of this yet because I just fully went blind on her recommendation. But it says, if the dead can wake and walk among us, how can we know what is truly real? Ooh, Ruth Beckman has a spirit companion only she can see. Ruth, strange, corpse-like, and dead for centuries, is the light of Rue's life. That is until the wealthy young widow Agnes visits one of Ruth's backroom seances and the two strike up a connection. Oh my god, is this gonna be like a gay throuple with a ghost? I'm so ready for that. The way that I just bought it blind.
Yeah, that's
and
crazy.
It's so Hailey coded.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for this.
I picked up, well, the next thing on the top of my pile is, I'm trying not to drop a dog in case you're wondering why I'm doing this. I got the two versions of Jimin's new album. These are K-pop albums. If you don't know me, I am a K-pop stan and I'm a big BTS fan, and this is Jimin's most recent solo, and I saw them there and I was like, well, while we're here, we ventured into the music section and I was like, this could be a problem. And
it wasn't a problem, it was a solution.
I'll take it.
And Aspen taught me all the lore.
Yeah.
I learned about pulling a bias.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a bias, but maybe I should have one. What was the band that I liked? I was drawn
17.
to 17.
She found 2 different albums independently and was just like, oh, I love the art. Who is that? So I looked at it. They were both 17. So maybe this is your entrance.
Ooh. Aren't some of their songs in English? Like Butter. Smooth like butter. I don't know. That's all I know. Oh wait. Like a criminal undercover.
Hot like summer.
What did they claim this video?
We're that good.
BTS claimed.
She's getting the education.
I kind of am. Well, I'll return my GVF lore.
Yeah.
I'll have to tell you all about the dynamics.
I think you should. I'm gonna make you Greta Van Fleet packs, and then you can pull cards and see if you get your bias.
I would actually love that.
Little like posters and all the things in it, and then put a little like cut out my own little photo card so you can see who you get.
And I actually love the term bias. Like, I think K-pop fans are kind of genius for that because I literally love everyone in Greta Van Fleet.
Yeah.
Like, I love them all. There's no one that I love more than the others. But Jake is my bias because I would
yeah.
redacted.
Yeah, I like that about it because it's kind of the thing with K-pop is like you're not really a real fan if you're not a fan of everyone. Like, you have to love everyone. It's like a requirement basically, but it's natural to have someone that you gravitate towards when they perform or when they do things. So it's like, it's a way to kindly be like, it's my favorite, but not really my favorite, but kind of my favorite, but not really my favorite. Like, it's very mildly claiming someone.
Mild claim.
Yeah.
I love that. Mildly claim. Me commenting on like some psychic on TikTok, mildly claim. My next few, I guess I had one more paperback. She was kind of lost in the shuffle because she's bigger. And this is the new L.S. Stratton. If y'all remember, I read Not So Perfect Strangers. I have it somewhere right here. And I gave that 5 stars. It was such a great thriller. That was her debut. This is her follow-up, Do What Godmother Says. Okay, so 2 people are connected by a painting with a deadly secret in this gripping gothic thriller. Ooh, while cleaning out her godmother's house, Shanice comes across a painting she hasn't seen in years, drawn to it in a way that she can't explain. And she soon uncovers the story of the artist, Estelle Johnson, a young woman taken under the wing by a wealthy art patron, Maud Bachman, or Godmother. And she vanished shortly after Bachman's brutal murder. Oh. As she digs deeper, she becomes convinced she's being stalked, and the deaths happening around her are connected to the offer she turned down for the painting. I kind of like, why is this kind of giving like Scooby-Doo Haunted Mansion?
Yeah.
But in like a fun, modern, gothic way. I think I'm going to really like this. I just love L.S. Stratton's writing style a lot. So really cool that she can do like classism domestic thriller with like a lot of rich people drama and then pivot to a gothic paranormal mystery. Like that is so cool. I also got a YA thriller because this one was blurbed by Ryan LaSala, which we talked about earlier, author of The Honeys. This is Two Sides to Every Murder by Danielle Valentine. And basically the story of this girl is her parents were killed in like a Friday the 13th-esque kind of crime at a summer camp. Oh, her mother was accused of the murder, but she believes in her mother's innocence and is determined to clear her name. So she's going back to Camp Lost Lake, even if it means committing murder, she will prove her mother didn't do it. Interesting. I'm excited for the summer camp vibes. Y'all know that's like my vibe of the moment. It used to be amusement park, now it's summer camp. I can never predict what my current hyperfixation is gonna be, but here we are. And then I also picked up While We Were Burning by Sarah Coffey. This one caught my eye in a bookstore, I don't remember when, like a week ago or something, and I haven't stopped thinking about it since, so I put it on my list. I knew I was gonna pick it up. It says, what would you do if no one was watching? After her best friend's death, Elizabeth's picture-perfect life in the Memphis suburbs has spiraled out of control. So much so, she hires a personal assistant to keep her on track. Composed and elegant, Brianna slides so neatly into Elizabeth's life and proves herself indispensable. And soon the assistant Elizabeth tried to hire to distract her from her obsession about her friend's death is the same person working with her to uncover the truth behind it. Because Brianna has questions as well. She wants to know why the police killed her young black son, why someone in Elizabeth's neighborhood called the cops on him that day, and who took the first step that stole her child away from her. So they're both working together to solve 2 different crimes, but they're like intertwined, and I don't think like the main girl knows about her assistant and her motivation. So I think it's going to be really cool. It honestly kind of reminded me of Not So Perfect Strangers by L.S. Stratton, a white person and a black person going about things with their different motives and intertwining. I'm sure there's going to be some kind of conversation about race and class. I hope there is. Sarah Coffey is an author of color. I'm pretty sure she's black. So love to see that. I try to do at least one of my thrillers in my new release thriller vlogs to be by an author of color, at least one. Try to hopefully do 2. So this will be definitely featured in one of those upcoming.
I picked up a copy of Love Interest by Claire Gilmore. This is giving Hating Game to me, and if you know anything about me, you know I'm obsessed with both the book and the movie, and I would love to relive a first experience, but I can't have that, and I'm hoping this will be, I told Hailey, like, not as good, but will give me the same feeling, like, vibes, hopefully, for a first read. It is an office romance. Our girl is a finance worker, which is maybe a little too relatable for me. and she gets outbid for a position by one of the board chairman's sons, gets a job over her. And so I think it's kind of a rivals to lovers situation in the office. So I'm really excited for this. I know office romance is not the most like popular thing, I feel like.
I think it's cute.
But I love it. I'm obsessed with it, so I'm very excited about this.
Next up, I picked up a few new release thrillers because obviously I gotta read them in my new release thriller vlogs. These are some tried and true authors that I love. Starting out with May Cobb, we have The Hollywood Assistant, and this is actually based on real life experience of May Cobb when she was an assistant to a celebrity.
Interesting.
I heard her talk about this release last year at Texas Book Festival, and I've been so excited for it ever since. I love the like dark side of Hollywood kind of vibes, so very excited for this one. I had to pick up the new Lisa Jewell, even though I'm kind of on the fence about it. She took that Marvel check to put her daughter through school. I can't knock her for that. I love that. Lisa and her child deserves it. But I don't like Marvel. Okay, I'm sorry to disappoint. I can hear the unsubscribe button being clicked with a quickness as I speak. I'm just not a superhero girl. I don't like Marvel stuff. It's all the same to me, and I get that that can be like very comforting for people, but I think it's so boring and I think it's so dummy. So I hate to be that girl, but like I don't love Marvel. And this is a Marvel book written by Lisa Jewell. I'm hoping because it's written by her and I love her writing style that I will like it. It's about this person named Jessica Jones. She is a retired superhero, loner, and private investigator. She tried her best to be a shiny spandex crime fighter, but that only led to unspeakable trauma. So she's going to be a private investigator traveling at the British countryside. I'm scared, but I'm going to give y'all the tea. And then I'm so excited for this. I love Robin Harding. I think her last couple releases have been like knocked out of the park, just like perfect domestic drama, and this is called The Haters. I love that. I just love that it's called The Haters, like queen. It says you never know who's out there. Some of y'all are my haters and I don't know that you're out there. Like, that is so real of her to say. This is a twisted tale of fame, obsessions, and the dark recesses of social media. Cameron Lane is living her dream. After years of struggle and rejection, her first novel has been published. Her editor's happy, her daughter is proud, her boyfriend and friends are all excited. She is on top of the world until she receives a disturbing message from an unknown sender. Rattled by the accusations in the message, she swallows the sick feeling in her stomach and resolves to put the missive out of her mind. But when she checks ratings on a popular book site, she finds a scathing 1-star review. The reviewer is so articulate and convincing that soon the book is flooded with bad reviews. Could the reviewer be the same person who sent that email, and why do they want to ruin her? As the online harassment creeps into Cameron's personal life, she vows to find out who is behind it. Is it really a disgruntled reader? Could this be someone that she knows? As the troll's actions are escalating, the abuse turns deadly, and it will take everything she has to unmask this enemy so intent on destroying her, and finally learn why she's being targeted.
That sounds good.
It sounds so good, and I'm sorry, I'm a hater. I love clocking into my shift at the hater factory, and when I read this book, I'm gonna be rooting for the hater.
Yeah. The last book that I got, because again, exercising self-control here since I have a backpack to get all of these back home. Notes on Your Sudden Disappearance. This is one that Hailey handed to me across the table and said, in my opinion, you're gonna buy this. And I said, okay. I know she read it a few years ago and really loved it. And it says, Sally Holt has always been mystified by the things her older sister Kathy seems to have been born knowing. Kathy has answers for all of Sally's questions about life, about love, and about Billy Barnes, a rising senior and local basketball star who mans the concession stand at the town pool.
This is not a good description.
Okay.
I'm gonna jump in and let you know. This is about the plight of the oldest daughter.
Okay.
In the late 90s, early 2000s. Mm-hmm. It's a very nostalgic, very Y2K. The older sister dies, and the younger sister is working through basically her life because she looked up to her and saw her as this like figment. but she's learning her sister's humanity and simultaneously learning about what happened to her and why she died.
Oh, okay.
It is so character driven, so beautifully written. So that's a pretty paperback.
Yeah, it is. Is it like a pool on the hardcover? I remember what it looked like, but I really like this cover. So that was my last book.
I'm so glad you got it. You never have to listen to me whenever I'm like, allegedly you're buying this, but she does. She just listens to me. It's almost like she's my friend, you guys. Aspen's my friend.
It's almost like she cares.
It's almost like he cares. It's almost like
bit.
we're friends. It's almost like Aspen's never leaving. She has to be trapped here in my house. I'm gonna be Joe Goldberg and like create a cage, and you're never gonna leave.
Don't take my tea.
Don't take my teeth. Boba's a hoe for the book bitches.
She said, I don't care who you are as long as you hold me.
Yeah, Boba's an indie manipulator.
Beware.
Beware.
Boba, I'm afraid you have some red flags.
She said, do you want a buddy read 1984?
Oh. We've loved our time together, but I don't know if we can carry on.
She's love bombing.
Yeah.
All right, I have a few more to get into. Love letters to a serial killer. Love the Mean Girls aesthetic. Love the like kitschy, cutesy, but also murder. It says, P.S. please don't kill me. Like, that's so cute. An aimless young woman starts writing to an accused serial killer while he awaits trial, and once he's acquitted, decides to move in with him and take the investigation into her own hands in this dark and irresistibly compelling debut thriller.
Interesting.
Like, moving in with a serial killer and being like, but did he really do it though? Like, if anyone's gonna find out if he did it, it's a woman so wild. I believe in her. Next up, we have another Dawn wreck. Blindly trusted her again. We Used to Live Here by Marcus Clewer? Clewer. And y'all know I usually don't read books by men, but it says Get Out meets Parasite in this eerily haunting debut and Reddit hit, soon to be a major motion picture, about two homeowners whose lives are turned upside down when the house's previous residents unexpectedly visit. Oh, this sounds like Leave the World Behind a little bit.
Yeah.
A young queer couple flips houses and they can't believe the killer deal they got on an old house. As they're working on reno, there's a knock at the door and a man stands there with his family, claiming to have lived there and asking if it would be alright if he showed his kids around. A people pleaser at fault, Eve lets them in. As soon as the strangers enter the home, uncanny and inexplicable things start happening, including the family's youngest child going missing and a ghostly presence materializing in the basement. Even weirder, the family can't seem to take a hint that their visit should be over soon. When Charlie suddenly vanishes, Eve slowly loses her grip on reality. Something is terribly wrong with the house and with the family. Or is Eve just imagining things? Mm-hmm. This actually sounds so fucking good. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's going to make a really good movie. Mm-hmm. It kind of sounds like a mixture of Leave the World Behind and We Need to Do Something.
Yeah.
This one, hello. Should we show our martinis? We both have martini tattoos. There's a martini on this book. And it's called Bad Men. And let me read you the thing that really got me. A revenge-hungry female killer and a hot true crime podcaster. Body parts a go-go. What's not to like?
A go-go really got me.
Body parts a go-go.
go-go.
That blurb is from CJ Scoose, who wrote Sweet Pea. Oh. So I know if she liked it. I thought Sweet Pea was great. I think I'm gonna like this too. It's a female killer who is not giving what a lot of other female killers are giving, like Mayfly, Unhinged. No, she's like sophisticated. Yeah. She's like Carrie from Sex and the City. And she's just giving very cutie girl, but she's like Silence of the Lambs, who's the guy Hannibal. Mm-hmm. She is killing these bad men everywhere she goes, and I'm so ready for it. I think it's gonna be female American Psycho.
Yeah, or like female Dexter.
Yeah. Yes, like the men's heads.
That's hilarious. I did not see that when you showed me earlier.
Yeah, there are men's heads, if y'all don't see that.
Like little Ken.
Little Ken
skewered.
Heads. He's just Ken. And the last book that I got, this was the only one that was not on my list, but I picked it up because at first I was just like making a joke. I was like, oh my god, that's so me. And then I started reading it and I was like, wait, I need to know about this. So it's called If Love Could Kill, and it's a nonfiction book by Anna Motz. It says the myths and truths of women who commit violence. So it's going through a lot of cases of extreme violence by women and breaking down the oppression and abuse that led to the women snapping. So kind of like sharing the blame for these violent acts. Like, this did not happen for no reason kind of thing. As a therapist to mostly women and mostly queer women, I hear a lot of my clients really blaming themselves for bad things that they've done. And of course, it's great to take responsibility. We always want to encourage that in therapy. But there comes to a point where you can no longer blame yourself and you have to acknowledge the other piece of the puzzle. So I'm hoping there are a lot of pieces of the puzzle in here that will help me personally and in my work and just be really interesting to read about. So not often do I haul nonfiction, but this one just sounded too good. And that is everything. That is our haul. I went absolutely psycho crazy. Thanks for not judging me.
I'm an enabler, if anything. I was an encourager. She was looking and I was like, you should get it.
That's really all it took. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing Aspen on my channel. Thank you for being here. We will be filming lots more on Aspen's channel, on my Patreon. I'm sure I'll be posting 1,000,001 Instagram photos of us together because she's never leaving and she has to move to Austin, Texas. And Boba will never leave her alone. You whore. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel and Aspen's channel. Of course, she'll be linked up above, down below, all the places. If you're subscribed to me, why are you not subscribed to Aspen? We are basically the same person, except I'm more annoying. What else do I say?
Don't forget to read a book and go to therapy this week.
Bye!